In the upper right hand corner, we see that we're currently looking at transactions for 12/18/2008. Each of these transactions are listed here. You'll notice that they're color coded. Pink transactions indicate that a transaction has been voided. Blue transactions tell us that this is a recurring payment. White and gray transactions indicate that these are one-time payments that were either manually entered today or came in through the website. At first glance, we have some details about each transaction. In the first column, we see the site ID of the business who is accepting the payment. In the second column, we see the name of the client writing the check. The third column shows us the account number, securely only displaying the last two numbers. The fourth column shows us the time that the transaction came in. Notice that they are all displayed chronologically, with the most recent transaction being listed first. The fifth column shows us the amounts of each transaction. At the bottom, we see transaction totals. This is the sum of all the transactions, excluding the pink voided transactions. If you want to void a transaction, you can do it with one click of the mouse. And notice that the background becomes pink, indicating that it has been voided. These transactions will not be batched and processed that night. If you decide that you would like to reinstate this transaction so that it would be batched for processing, you can reinstate it again with one click of the mouse. Additional details can be gathered by drilling down on the transaction. This is all the information that was collected or inputted for the transaction. You can make changes to any of this information and save it before it's batched that evening. In the lower left-hand corner, notice the calendar. You can click on any of these days to view transactions for that day. Notice the transactions for yesterday, the 17th. The main difference that we see here is that the option to void and reinstate is no longer available. Also, the details are read-only and cannot be changed. The account number is no longer displayed. It's only showing the last two digits. This is for archival purposes, for reference only, and cannot be modified. In the upper left-hand corner, we see all of the iCheckGateway accounts that I currently have access to. Clicking on any of these accounts will also filter the transactions for each of these accounts. Notice that Integrated Business Solutions does not have any transactions for this particular date. The account that's currently filtered in the transaction screen is indicated by changing its color to green. Here's a JRE Virtual Architect account that has transactions for this particular date. To return to view all merchants, there is an option in the upper right-hand corner that will allow you to do so. And notice that it is now green, indicating that you're currently viewing the transactions for all the merchants. The Account Manager also allows you to modify any of the demographics information for your account, as well as change your password or update any of the account code details. Account administrators are also able to access other accounts in the system to modify information or manage as needed. There are currently 3 levels of permissions: administrator, staff, and merchant. Administrative accounts have complete administrative control over the system. Staff accounts can manage transactions, but they cannot create new accounts or assign account roles or set accounts active or inactive. Merchant accounts can only see information relative to their accounts and their transactions. Administrators can set accounts active or inactive by selecting this option. New accounts can be created by filling out these details and submitting or saving the information at the bottom. Another great feature of iCheckGateway.com is the ability to input recurring checks. Here we see there are 2 current cycles. New cycles can be added by clicking New Recurring. After inputting the customer information and account information, you have the ability to select a payment cycle. There are several payment cycle options to choose from. Notice some are by date and some are by weekday. The difference is if you select a monthly payment by date, that check will be written every month on that particular date. If you select monthly by weekday, the payment will be made every month according to a particular weekday regardless of the date, say the first Monday of every month. Select the first payment date, the cycle, the number of payments and the amount, and then save the transaction, and you're done. They will be represented here in the transaction list as blue transactions. Export to Excel is a feature that allows you to create a quick report of whatever transactions you're currently viewing in the dashboard. If you filter by date or by account, clicking Export to Excel will generate a report with the transactions that you're currently viewing. Of course, it will not include any of the voided transactions. Notice the account numbers are securely displayed with only their last 2 digits. To generate more advanced reports, the Reporting tab comes into play. Here you can filter certain date ranges, clients, or transaction types. You can also select the type of information that you would like to have generated in the report. By default, all of these are opted in. However, you can select the ones that you would like. For example, say you want to select the last name, first name, and email address of the clients who have written checks today. If you run the report, that information will be exported into Excel, and you notice that only that information is present in the report. This could be handy if you're trying to do an email campaign to your current clients. Closing the report, you'll find that you're still at the report filtering screen. This would allow you to select additional criteria without having to begin again. Suppose you'd like to include a mailing address. Select those columns, run the report, and the information is exported into Excel. Clicking on New Transaction at the top will allow you to manually run a payment. You can either input the details of the client, or if they are a return client, you can select from previous checks. Selecting the user's name will input the information automatically into the screen for you. There are 2 custom fields here that you can use for any internal purpose, whether it be a particular product number or customer code. That can be inputted here and reported on later. After filling out the details and inputting the transaction amount, you proceed to the payment type. iCheckGateway allows you to process credit card payments and electronic checks all from the same resource. Upon submitting the information, you'll receive a confirmation that the check had been processed successfully along with a timestamp. Returning to the dashboard, that transaction is now entered as the most recent transaction. As you can see, iCheckGateway.com is very easy to use and powerful.